Today on the show we have Tim Moon. Why don't you share a little bit about yourself, Tim?
I started hanging out with some of the Jesus movement people back in the early 70s and just wanted to share the gospel through music out on the streets and all the different places that I go and stuff. So I've been doing it for 48 years. Doing a lot of street music and Haight-Ashbury and Fisherman's Wharf and in and around San Francisco. Do a lot of things with the Rescue Mission. Yeah, and then Street Life approached me a few years ago, and so I've been a big part of that for the last few years on that. In fact, you were instrumental in getting that going for me, so thank you. So anywhere where there's a place to do music, outdoors or indoors, it's all about sharing the gospel through music.
Amen. Now, what's your typical audience that you...
Well, I kind of literally play to thousands of people, but most of the time you're just walking by. So you get very few that are, going to sit and hang around. But it's really neat to go to places like the Rescue Missions or the soup kitchens, and some of those have been closed since COVID and stuff. But we're hoping here in the summertime that we're going to be able to reopen some of those and be able to do some chapel services and some ministry outside, where people eat. My audience is to anybody who wants to sit and listen. It could be a church group, or it could be people on the street having a bowl of soup.
We've shared stories. About how people come in, especially with Street Life, which is a church for those on the street.
Yeah.
They come in in a certain mood and emotional state.
Yeah.
And then you're playing, and what happens? Can you share one of those stories?
Well, it's amazing. There's an old saying that says, "Music soothes the savage beast," and that's one thing that we have noticed when there is music playing. People coming into an area where they're going to get fed or they're going to receive clothing, and they could be having the worst day possible, and they hear some music, and all of a sudden they just, their cares kind of melt away, and pretty soon they're laughing and whatever. And so it's kind of neat to see.
Can you share a little bit about your heart for worship?
I'm kind of a historian when it comes to a lot of the gospel music and the Jesus movement music, and even people like Bob Dylan and Neil Young have written such great songs. And I just wanted to take that music that they've done and then reach the audience that I reach, because I play to people that would never come to a church or come to a concert hall or a place to see some of these folks. So I try to play that music in the best way that I know how, and with my guitar and harmonica, and so I just want to minister to the people where they're at. They need to hear an old Bob Dylan tune. I'm going to play an old Bob Dylan tune. There's one favorite old folk song called Red River Valley. And I had a gentleman at one of the street chapels. He was sitting there, and he goes, "You know Red River Valley?" And I said, "Oh yeah." So I sang it, and he sat there and cried the whole time. And it's a secular song, but that ministered to him because he said his grandfather used to sing it to him when he was a young boy. He actually said the sinner's prayer with me and stuff afterwards.
And of course, you're famous for your tie-dye shirts and well, you got flip-flops on today.
Yeah, flip-flops. Well, I always wear, sandals and my bell-bottom pants and stuff. So it's signs of the time for me when I grew up and stuff. And so it's a way to connect with people. Me and my wife Sue, we've been married 42 years. Amazing for a musician to be with a woman for 42 years. So we have 4 kids, and they're all married and starting to have families of their own. And so far we've got 5 grandchildren and stuff, but all 4 of my kids are involved in music and stuff. And so it's really great to see them. And then my 2 oldest grandsons told me a few months ago that they started a worship band in their youth group. So so they're playing guitars and singing and stuff. So that's great. And they call me Pops because when I walk in the room, I do that sound and they come running. So anyway, but I'm really proud of my grandkids and stuff, and still continue doing the music and the worship in the church. So so glad about that.
All right, you just made John's day by popping a loud noise in his ear.
Yeah, well, sorry about that.
So we have a CD here that you made, Remnant, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a song on there that's called Built for Glory, And it's a story about an older gentleman who comes to the rescue. And my friend Terry Scott Taylor is the one that actually penned the song, but there's a guy named Charlie that I ministered to year after year at the rescue mission in San Jose. He ended up on the streets in San Jose area and stuff, and ended up dying in my arms and about 2 o'clock in the morning one morning. And anyway, so I use that as my song about the homeless community, and I'll be sharing it here in a little bit. But it just tells a story about some of the people that we meet on the streets.
It's a unique ministry, and not a lot are coming to the call, but if they wanted to,
right,
you can show them the ropes.
Right, exactly. Whoever wants to show up, bring their instrument of choice, and they are just singers or whatever, they can call me, and I'll be glad to place to play and a place to sing and some people to sing to. And I guess they can reach me through the Dove Ministries.
Yeah, we're going to have links, so when you watch this show.
Well, my email address is really simple. It's just my name, timmoon3@yahoo.com is my email. And then my website is Tim Moon Streets.
And Remnant will be on there.
Remnant will be on there. You can download segments of it right now, and they can actually order. They can order a whole CD and stuff. And right. Send it to them.
And there's a particular song that was really on Tim's heart. Would you honor us with that?
Sure, I'll be glad to. Yeah.
Okay, I'll get out of your way.
Okay.
I'm going to exit while Tim plays a song, Built for Glory.
Found an old man lying on the street, thought I'd do my good deed. I wrapped my coat around him and I gave him voodooing. With labored breath he struggled, but his eyes held heaven's light. He whispered, "Young man, don't feel bad for me. It would all work out all right." As I was built for glory, and I was made to lie. God formed these feet to walk golden streams when this hard life is past. Say he's doing well on the other side. If anybody asks, say I was built for glory, and I was made alive. He said, I've been a Texas Ranger, and I've been a railroad fan. Lost 2 sons to consumption, lost my money in a get-rich scam. Buried my wife 15 years ago, that's when I took to the road. I'm too crippled now to walk again, but I'll walk those streets of gold. I was built for glory, and I was made to lie. God formed these feet to walk golden streams when this hard life is past. Say he's doing well on the other side. If anybody asks, say I was built for glory, and I was made to lie. I asked, what's your name? He shook his head and said, it don't really matter. I'm just another postal out on the street whose rewards in the great hereafter. And Jesus has been a friend of mine when all others passed me by. But he led you here so I could say these words before I die. And I was built for glory, and I was made to lie. God formed these feet to walk golden streams when this hard life is past. Say he's doing well on the other side. If anybody asks, say I was built for glory, and I was made to last. The old man held me by the hand and sighed his final breath. Now his spirit is in heaven while his body is at rest. Today I'm making it my mission to help others understand. We're all fish out of water. We're strangers in a foreign land, and we were built for glory, and we were made to last. God formed our feet to walk golden streams when this hard life is past. It's time to make your peace with God, 'cause this life's over fast. 'Cause we were built for glory, and we were made to last.